Hey guys, so last week I decided to create a survey where players can try to predict what will actually happen on the next ban list in January, and thanks to a lot of the community members sharing the survey, we managed to get over 700 responses. So thank you everyone, I hope you guys will be interested in participating in this kind of survey before every ban list moving forward. Now before we get to the actual predictions, I thought it'd be important to know the type of player base that made these predictions. So in terms of competitiveness, basically around 41% each define themselves either competitive or semi-competitive, meaning that they at least regularly attend locals. Now we did have 18% that were casual players, with under 1% of responders saying that they don't actually play and are more of a vendor or artist or something like that. As for playing experience, looks like about 80% of the respondents played Yu-Gi-Oh! For at least 3 years, whether competitively or casually, with a big chunk and 29% stating that they've played for at least 10 years. So now let's move on to the predictions, and remember this was supposed to be a prediction of what will actually happen on the next list and not a wish list, although of course not everyone will follow that request. Anyways, starting with artifact Scythe, which has been on the hot seat since Destroyer Phoenix Enforcer has been released. Almost half the respondents think that this card will be banned on the next list. I'm going to try to be quick with each card so I won't really go into details about why a card should get banned or not. Now related to Scythe, for those who didn't think Scythe will be banned, I thought I'd look at if they think Dagda is the problem, but only 16% of this subset thought Dagda would be axed, so it looks like it's more so a Scythe that people think will be hit. Next is Archnemesis Protos, a card that is searchable in Sword Soul that can shut down special summoning of specific attributes, which is certainly powerful, but looks like just 19% expect this card to be banned. Probably too early to hit Sword Soul at this point. Then we have the Wind Barrier statue, which at some point a while ago there was some small debate on whether the card should be banned, but looks like just 14% expect it to get hit on the next list. Related to the card is the Simorgh link, which is something that can provide easy access to the Wind Barrier statue. Now among those that didn't think Wind Barrier statue will be banned, almost a third thought that Simorgh will be the card to be hit instead, and it is perhaps a fair point. Next we have Benten, which was put to 1 a while ago when Drytron first entered tier 1 status. It looks like the majority, 71%, expect Benten to just stay at 1. Related to that is Eva, which got put to 1 in the most recent ban list, which really did not do anything. Among those that didn't think Benten would get a further hit, most, 81%, thought Eva would also stay at the same at 1 as well. Then we have Imperial Order, which people were really asking for this card to be banned because Tri-Brigade lists would all play it, and in general it's not a fair card. About half of the respondents expect this card to be banned on the next list, and with 2.5% saying that the card will become unlimited, which I suspect was more of a troll answer. Now we have Dragoon, which at one point there were calls to get this card banned, but after DPE release, I don't think many people are saying that anymore. As you can see, only 9% expect Dragoon to be banned on the next list. Related to this is Red Eyes Fusion, so for those that did not think Dragoon will be banned, they didn't really think Red Eyes Fusion will be banned either, at 3.3%. I'm sure if we asked this question a few months ago, the percentage would be much higher. Next is Shaddoll Winda, another card that people were clamoring to get banned a few months ago. Now it looks like only 15% expect this card to be banned on the next list, with another 13% predicting that it will be limited instead. Speaking of fusions, we have Predaplant Verte Anaconda, which first gave easy access to Dragoon, but now DPE. Almost half, 46%, predict this card to be banned on the next list. Now DPE did release pretty recently, so not sure if Konami will do this, but I think this card will be on the hot seat for a while now. Next is the infamous Mystic Mine, which actually did get banned in the OCG, but Konami just seems to love this card, and I'm not sure how this card has been legal for so long. 20% predict that this card will be banned on the next list, but considering how often it has dodged the list, I don't think anything will actually change, although I do hope that it gets banned, at least limiting the card as a start, which 21 predicted will happen. Then we have Crystron Halqifibrax, another card if we asked over a year ago, everyone would say that this card needs to be banned. Nowadays, only 3% expected the card to be banned, so it really has fallen out of everyone's radar. Next is Nadir Servant, which is not a ban-worthy card per se, but I put it here because I know a lot of players were calling for this card to at least be limited. Looks like a little over a quarter of players predict the card will be limited, but still the majority predict that nothing will change. Then we have AA-ZEUS, which also may not really be a ban-worthy card, but would be something worth putting to 1, although since the death of the Zodiac package, I think multiple Zeus doesn't come up much anymore. Anyways, about 30% predict the card will be limited, with most saying that there will be no change. Tri-Brigade is certainly strong, although now it looks like most players have moved towards the Lyrilisk build. Revolt has always been a really strong card for the deck, and looks like 35% predict the card will be limited. The card is still accessible through Bearbrum, but I suppose putting to 1 is a start. Now for the Invocation Package, it's been thrown at the ban list predictions time and time again. While most predict no change will happen to this package, for those that do think there will be a change, most gravitate towards Magical Meltdown being hit, with most predicting will be put to 1. Now, I of course couldn't cover every card, so I had a free text option for any other illegal cards that may be hit on the next list. A lot of cards were suggested, but I would say the top 3 were Trabergate Fractal and Lyrilisk Recital Snarling, which players calling for these cards to be at least become limited. Harpy's Featherstorm was another popular choice since really Red Reboot is the only thing that can stop this, with most predicting that it will be banned on the next list. Now let's cover a few currently banned cards, starting with our favorite Maxx. The majority, 85%, predict that there will be no change on the next list and the card will still be banned, but that small 9% are predicting that it will become unlimited, but I think this is more of a wish list. And then we have Orcust Harp Horror, which a lot of players think it could have come back a while ago. We see that the majority, or 56%, do predict that this card will become limited and come off the ban list. Then we have Thunder Dragon Colossus, where most, almost 3/4, predict the card will stay banned, but looks like there's still a good chunk with the other quarter thinking it will be limited on the next list. Finally, we have Electrumite, where 2/3 thought the card will still be forbidden on the next ban list, while the other third think it will come back to 1. I played Pendulum myself personally while Electrumite was legal and hope this card can come back someday for Trift's sake. Lastly, in terms of currently banned cards that I did not have in the survey that players were free to recommend, the top 3 that were mentioned were Astrograph Sorcerer, Time Seal, and Blaster coming back to 1, maybe one day. Now for fun, I thought I'd see which date most people think the ban list would actually be released. Most people thought the list would come out exactly a week before it would come into effect, while the next common guess was the exact date that it's supposed to come into effect, January 17th. Then another big chunk thought that it would actually be released a week after the no sooner date. Keep in mind that YCS Pasadena is January 15th weekend, so the new list won't be in effect for the event either way, but Konami may potentially hold off on releasing the ban list just before that to prevent any distractions and not remove any hype from the YCS event. But let's see if it falls on any of these 3 most voted dates. Next, I thought I'd ask which YuGiTuber people trusted the most for their ban list predictions. Now to be clear, the majority of respondents, 29%, stated they didn't trust any YuGiTuber's predictions, which is fair. So let's cover the next top 10 choices. First off, as the most trusted among YuGiTubers is Farfa, with 16% stating they trusted his predictions. Then we have MSTTV, followed by MBTM Pack tied for 3rd, and Simo. We also have House of Champs next, followed by Team Samurai X1, then Lithium 2300, and DB Grinder and Cali Effect tied for 9th. Whether you trust them or not, I always enjoy watching a lot of the ban list prediction videos from my favorite content creators, and I'm sure a lot of you feel the same. Alright guys, so that was it for the ban list prediction survey video. Hope you enjoyed that. Thank you to all those that responded to the survey and those who shared the survey. I hope you'll be able to take the time to respond to the survey each time before the next ban list so that I can continue making these kind of videos. Take care guys.